Resident Evil.
Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred on the outskirts of Raccoon City. There have been outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. The Raccoon City Police Department dispatched the Bravo team from the Special Tactics and Rescue Service to investigate, but contact was lost shortly after arrival. In response, the Alpha team was sent to investigate the compatriots' last known whereabouts, a forest situated at the edge of the nearby Arklay Mountains. Bravo team's helicopter was a derelict when they found it. The pilot's corpse was inside. It looked like it had been badly mauled by a wild animal. Of the Bravo team, there was no sign. The Alpha team continued their search, but the situation quickly turned into a nightmare. Attacked by a pack of rabid monsters, the Alpha team were forced to flee and take refuge in a sprawling mansion previously hidden by the dense trees. They stand now in the mansion's eerie front hall, gasping for breath. As they begin to get their bearings, an uncomfortable truth hits them. There are only 4 STARS members left. No one knows whether their other teammates are alive or dead. Is the mission still to investigate the bloody murders and find missing teammates? Or is it to survive and escape?
Hello and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time with us. I'm Leanne, and that's Alan, and as you'll have seen from the title card, we are here today with our first look at the game of Resident Evil, the board game. It doesn't say 1, so it's not 1, but it's Resident Evil 1, the board game.
Effectively.
Yeah, so you might have seen the unboxing that Alan did previously of this game and all the stuff that goes with it.
We'll put a link just in case you haven't.
Yeah, so you can see the content. And this game, it is quite similar to Resident Evil 3, which we have been playing through. But we know there are some additional rules that will come into play, and we've got things like the board, which has extra things, and the character boards have extra things. So we wanted to start from scratch. Now we're going to have a look at the tutorial, which is titled The Gunshot. I think that this tutorial probably is mainly the rules that are in Resi 3. I don't think there's much extra stuff that comes into it. So we thought it might be a nice idea to do this as a tutorial. So anyone watching who might not quite know how to play the game or want to refresh some of the rules, we'll go through it together, and this will be helpful for Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 3 as well. So we'll give it a go. It should be a fairly short campaign, and then when we do get into the main campaign with the additional rules, we'll have a look at those. We'll learn those together too. It'll be fun. It seems like a really interesting take on it and some interesting developments going forward, so I'm quite excited for this one. Cool. So we'll go from the start. We have already set up, but I'll do a quick run through of what we've done. We've got tutorial, the gunshot, and then there's a little bit of narrative before we get started. So I shall read it.
Each of you stands unsteadily in the mansion's main hall, trying to regain your breath after the frantic escape through the forest. As you survey these eerie surroundings and try to assess what happened, a muffled gunshot echoes from behind a set of doors to your left. You'd better investigate.
Then it tells you how to set up the playing area. I think it's quite handy in this one, which it didn't have in Resi 3. It tells you what tiles are needed. So you've got the count of them, so you know exactly what you need before you set up. So rather than getting all your tiles out, you can just get the ones you need. So it's really clear what you need to do on the map. We've got the tiles set out as it says. You've got door tokens, which come with a base box, but since we have the terrain pack, we've used the plastic 3D openable doors, and that's those blue marks. Then 8 items of these tokens, which I think they are, these ones are not double-sided.
Oh, okay.
In Resi 3, they had item A or item B on the other side sometimes.
Sometimes C.
And then our zombie friends in the zombie spaces. So it's really nice and visual, shows you exactly what you need to do and how to set up. The bigger maps sometimes take some time in Resi 3 to set up because they get really big. But I think it's a bit different in this game because you start with like a small area and explore, so the setup's a bit easier. So then we choose our characters. So I've chosen Jill Valentine. They've got, I don't know how clear that will be on the screen, but maybe I'll take it out of the sleeve to show. Don't know if that's a good idea. Boop, 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 boop. So you've got your character. This is your evade roll. So I have 2, it means I have 2 blue dice to evade stuff. 8 is my inventory space, so I've got all of these 8 slots on my board. And this is 3 kerosene, which won't come into play for the tutorial, but it comes into play later on. Then you've got your starting items down the side, but for the tutorial, we just get a handgun and a knife each. But when we get into playing the actual game, those are the items you get.
I was just going to say I didn't get that clip. So
yeah.
Cool.
Not yet. And then each character has some skills. So for Jill, I'm a master of unlocking. I can unlock a door if another character has the required key in their inventory, which is pretty cool. And then fighting spirit. So when an encounter card with a stars symbol is drawn, sorry, my eyes, Jill and each other character on her tile heals 1 level.
Nice.
So that again won't come into play in the tutorial because we're not using encounter cards, but useful for further on. So who are you playing?
I'm playing as Barry Burton, Mr. Hand Cannon himself. I get 1 blue dice to evade. I have 6 inventory slots and I can carry 2 kerosene. My starting items in the normal game would be a knife, a handgun, and a extra clip of ammo. My 2 special actions are get away from me. If Barry is attacked and fails his evade roll, Barry can push each enemy in his square. Also accurate, when making an attack with a handgun, Barry treats a full evade result as a double hit result. So that would be the full damage of, usually full damage of whatever weapon it is.
Amazing.
So that's cool. So like if I roll this and I'm trying to attack something, that will be counted as a success and a hit.
Alright, we'll get more into rolls as we start doing
Yeah.
So one thing that we'll need to make sure we note is that on your character board there are still 8 inventory slots. So 2 of them do not exist.
Yeah.
So we might come up with some marker or something to show that as we go on, but not for this one. Okay, so we've chosen our character. We could have also chosen Rebecca Chambers or Chris Redfield, who have their own skills. And we place the profile card in front of us. So there's a stars badge slot, which that goes in nicely.
The neoprene mats are new for Resi 1. They didn't have them for 2 or 3. No.
They're nice. I like them. Nice. Okay, so then we have a health track, which there are push-outs on the boards if you didn't get the neoprene mats, I believe.
Yes, correct.
But they look pretty much the same. You've got your health tracker going from danger to fine, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels of health. Yes, I had to count it, but that's fine. And we set initially to fine because we're okay. All right, so then it goes on to say which starting items we start with. So we've got a handgun and a knife. So we've both got those in our inventory. And we've got the handgun ammunition dial, which starts on 15, which is full for the handgun. Okay, so then we put ourselves on our starting positions. So we go back to the map, and there's one starting place here.
Yeah.
And the other one is here.
Might as well go for the one closest to me.
Sounds good.
I think
So
you
in this
better
one,
take a
we're both
look at
starting
this.
empty rooms,
Let's
which
get
is
going.
nice. Not always the case. Sometimes there's zombies or dogs all over the place. And that's a nice starting bit. And you're very close to this A item if you want to
Yeah.
go for that.
I might as well, because I'm going right past it. So.
Yeah, why not? So you got inventory space. Okay, we've then got our A item deck. So for this one, it's got, there's 2, hang on, I've lost it, 2 green herbs and 2 handgun bullets in there, and they're shuffled up.
Yep.
During the main campaign, there's usually a lot more cards, but for this purposes of this, you'll see what things are. And then we've got in the tension deck, which is this one, there's 15 green cards shuffled in there, as well as a few, there's 2 orange and 1 red.
Is it orange or amber?
Amber, it's the same.
Yeah, it's just kind of the terminology of the game.
So green is all clear, fine. Amber is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Red is, oh no.
I'm just going to push this in a little bit, 'cause I
Cool.
think we've got a little bit of space to play with here.
Yeah,
Just to make sure
we
it's
got
all in, people can
space.
see everything then.
Why not? So that's all shuffled. Great. Now the setup's complete. So we get our rules then. So every campaign will tell you how you win the campaign, and sometimes there's special rules that only apply to that scenario. To successfully complete this scenario, each character must leave the playing area by spending an action while in the same square as the exit token by here. You're like already pretty close to it. We're both
I've
pretty
got to go the
close
long
to
way
it.
around though, haven't I? So.
There's some zombies in the way. It's all good.
I'd say we're not that far distance apart.
Yeah.
I think we're both the same.
So once we've left the playing area, we don't take any more turns. You've reached safety and can only cheer the allies on from behind.
You're actually, if you go directly with spaces, you're 1 square closer than I am.
Oh, nice.
But there
Sounds
is
good.
obviously the hot mess of zombies in there as well.
Yes.
So
When playing this tutorial, ignore the tough hide rule on the zombie reference card. So the zombies are a bit scarier than in Resi 3 in this one. So on the zombie cards, you've got a symbol here, so that's the danger level, the
right.
threat level. So these are a 1, they're the least. Then you've got their movement. These guys can move 1 space per movement, and how much health they've got, and these have 1. You have the attacks, which we'll get into as we go through, and the special ability, because it's been mentioned, is Tough Hide. If this enemy is killed, replace it with a corpse. So they can come back, but in this scenario we're ignoring that. So it's a bit more like it would have been in the other games. If the tension deck runs out in this scenario, shuffle it and refresh it.
Yeah.
When you get into the main game, if you run out of the tension deck, you lose.
Unless otherwise stated in the scenario.
Yes.
And how do we prevent that from happening in the main game?
We'll have typewriters and ink ribbons, so we save by getting to a typewriter, spending an ink ribbon, and that'll reshuffle the whole deck.
Cool. Not to be pedantic, are they ink ribbons in this one? Because I think in 3 they're ink reels, aren't they? In the game, it's ink ribbon.
I think it was, the card is an ink reel, but you get an ink ribbon from it.
Okay, that's weird.
Which is very confusing.
Okay, never mind, it's fine. We'll get into that when we get there, but there is
we'll
an
get into
item
it.
you can use to be able to refresh the tension deck.
Okay, then we get a couple of extra bits. Resident Evil, the board game, is fully cooperative. If any character's health track marker drops below danger, the players fail the tutorial and must reset and try again. So they have to work together to make sure that doesn't happen by keeping enemies away from each other as best they can during their turns.
I think in the main scenario you can swap out for reserve characters. So in this case, for example, if Jill were to bite the bullet and perish, Chris could be tagged in, or Rebecca could be tagged in, or even like, because we got the extras, Joseph, Alba Wesker,
it comes into
Frost,
this
etc.
Stars reserve deck.
Yeah. Brad Vickers, Chicken Heart.
Stuff. Pick a player to go first, and using the rules you've learned, which we'll go through as we go, see if the characters can make it to safety.
Jill goes first.
Jill always goes first.
Ladies always go first.
Anything else? There's some stuff about rule conflict, but that's okay. We do have a tip. Resident Evil, the board game, is a game of survival horror, meaning that defeating enemies isn't the only way to survive.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best option is to avoid dangerous situations. You don't always have to go into every room in a scenario or eliminate every enemy.
Yeah.
Which is definitely true, as we've experienced in Resi 3. Alright, so during our turns, we each get 4 actions. So the first phase is the action phase. We get to do 4 things. So I would probably move 1
So
movement.
what would be the 4 actions you can take?
Okay. You can move,
Yep, as you just done.
open or close doors, attack,
Yep.
interact with an item,
Yep.
and then there's other stuff like using a typewriter, using the item box.
That
So
would
things
class
like
as interact with an item, I think, yeah.
Yeah, interact with an item.
Reloading, so interact with your inventory or using health
using
items.
items.
Cool.
Using everything.
Okay.
So that was 1, 2.
And you don't have to use all 4 if you don't wish to.
No.
You can stop at 2. So if Leanne didn't want to open this door right now, she could stop there if she wanted to.
I think I'm going to open it though.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'll open the door for 3.
Wow.
I've turned around.
Wow.
Ah! They have quite wide bases on these doors.
Last one, I think, that's what's the last one, I think.
And then I'm going to try and use my knife.
So the third action was opening the door.
Yes, I did
And
say
then
that.
you're gonna, and then you're gonna try and knife it.
Yep.
Oh god, here we go.
So on the weapons card, you've got ammunition at the top. Obviously, a knife is infinite. Then it tells you how many dice you roll to do the attack, and then what happens for each symbol that you roll.
Yeah.
This is, at the bottom, they sometimes have specific symbols to say what they do. This one means limited range, so I can only attack something 1 or less spaces away.
Yep.
Because it's a knife.
Yep.
I'm not going to throw it. So I get 1 blue dice. Which I will roll.
Oh, look at
I
that!
rolled a hit, which means 1 damage. The zombie has 1 health, so he has perished.
Again.
Again. And if it was the main campaign, it would be a corpse.
Yeah.
That was
If
4.
Leanne had failed that, which we'll probably get to in a bit.
Yeah.
The zombie would have reacted.
Yes, so after the action phase comes the reaction phase, where any enemies that are on the same tile or a linked tile, which is because the door is open next to it, they would move towards or attack if they can. And the third phase in my turn is the tension phase, where I draw a card from the tension deck and read it. Fatigue burns hard, your muscles complaining as much as your frayed nerves on this long night of sustained horror. But, for a moment at least, you've found respite. Pause to calm your nerves and consider your next move. All clear. We've got more text on them than the old ones did.
I was going to look at this door because I really like the fact that this isn't opening all the way. It's obviously because that's catching on it. But I really like that kind of, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but you can kind of, almost ajar. I really like that because it adds to that tension. You haven't got a full field of view through the door. And just looking at this and seeing Jill through it, that looks really cool. I like that visual.
I just like that the doors don't swing wildly.
That too. Resi 3s were so loose. It was
Close
ridiculous.
on themselves.
Okay, so now it's Barry Burton's turn, now that Leanne's taken all her turns. So I'm going to go 1. I'm going to open the door for my second action. So this one opens a bit further. That's 2. I'm going to step through for 3. And then I'm going to move on to this item square here for 4. Because I've exhausted all 4 of my actions, I cannot pick up that A item right now. I will have to wait until my next turn. So that's all 4 of my actions expended. So now we head into the reaction phase, where this chap is on the same tile as me. These ones aren't because the doors are closed, but this one is like, I heard something over here because Barry's walking around. And he's going to move 1 space. Because of his one move, you put me off. Range.
That's one move.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's where he's going to end up. If I was right next to him, he would have moved on to my square. If he's on my square, he would have done an attack. I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into attacks.
Okay, so now that that's done, everything has reacted that can. I'm going to pull a card. You pause, ears strained for even the slightest sound. Nothing beyond your own ragged breathing. So does that mean you're safe for now?
So essentially, you can't see the zombie past the open door.
That's
my head cannon.
Yep, cannon. Yep.
All right, my go. So I'm going to go 1 through the door. I could close it, but there's no point. There's nothing anyway.
That is a good strategy to use if there was enemies there that you didn't want to follow through or react to.
Yep. 2, 3, and I will pick up this A item.
Cool. So that's your 4th action. Nice.
And my A item is handgun bullets.
Whee!
So they go into my inventory. I can use them to reload my handgun by 8 hits.
Cool.
So that was 4. Nothing reacts because everything's past closed doors. You can hear trees rustle outside, swaying on the wind. The longest of their branches tickle the window panes, scratching like nails. Lightning flashes, and a long shadow stretches over the floor. Suddenly, you're not sure the sound belongs to trees after all. All clear.
Nice.
It is trees.
Like, as good as the ones in 2 and 3 were, these just seem to be going the extra mile with the description.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Fair play.
That's pretty cool.
Cool. Okay, so I might as well pick up the A item before taking a pot shot at this zombie, right? So I'm going to pick up the A item.
I'm going to move this door around
Yeah,
the other
that's
way,
absolutely fine,
out
yeah.
of the way. Okay.
So now the zombie can see me and I can see the zombie. I'm going to pick up this item, which is a green herb. Heal this character or another character in the same or an adjacent square by 1 level. That goes in my inventory. Green herbs do stack with other green herbs and red herbs. Probably blue herbs as well, because you
But
can
they
in the game.
combine.
Yeah. So you can't separate them out afterwards. So you could do a green, a red, and a blue. That would probably heal you to full and get rid of poison.
Sounds good.
Cool. So that was my 1 action. Next, then I'm going to take my handgun. So with the handgun, hopefully the card won't be glaring if I pull it out briefly. So you've got all these symbols here. So if I was
Similar to the knife.
if I was to roll this, this, or this, it would be a miss. Apart from if I got that one with Barry's skill, it would be a hit. This symbol means I get a push. So this little arrow symbol is a push symbol, and then where is it? That one is 1 damage. So that would kill the zombie. There's no critical hits on this particular die. That's on the red one, which is that one. That does nothing, but it doesn't class as a miss. It still hits. I have 2 cards here.
Oh, that's fine. We've only got 1 gun.
Pop that over there a sec. Some of the cards were sticking together when we were sleeving them.
There's also the the symbol at the bottom.
Yeah, that's
where you've got the 3 bullets. That means rapid fire. So you've got 1 dice to shoot with 1 bullet, but you have the option to roll up to 2 additional dice to shoot a maximum of 3 bullets.
Yeah. I was going to get into that, but then I saw the card and it threw me off.
Yeah,
cool.
I thought so.
So, and obviously the blue die is the symbol with the 1 in it, means I can only roll 1 dice. So I'm going to just use
rapid fire.
Yeah, I'm only going to use 1 bullet for the time being, and I'm going to try and hit that zombie. So I turn my handgun ammo dial down to 14, and I 2 hit, but it doesn't do any damage. So that's a pushback.
So you could push this guy into this square.
Yeah.
But you can choose to not push, or like essentially push them into the wall. Because if he goes around that corner, you lose line of sight and then can't.
And that would be detrimental. So I'm not going to push him. I'm going to close this door a second. Give me a sec.
A real door, not an in-game door. An IRL door.
Somebody is smoking some paraphernalia, which we do not like the smell of.
Yay.
Great. So I'm going to rapid fire then. I'm going to get 1 extra round. So I'm going to turn my handgun ammo down to 12. So I'm using 2 bullets. So I get to roll 2 dice.
Ooh.
Now, that is a miss, usually. Because of Barry's skill accuracy, when making an attack with a handgun, Barry treats a full evade result as a double hit result. So the double splat result. Which means zombie dead.
So essentially that means...
That.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Cool.
So he's dead.
So zombie is dead.
So
that's, I picked up, I've taken 2 shots, so I have 1 movement left,
Yep.
or 1 action left. I'm just gonna move forward. But
Great.
that's the end of my turn.
Nothing can
Nothing
react.
reacts. Because he's deader than the doorknob.
Extra dead.
Fear, hunger, exhaustion. All are demons threatening to drag you down. But you won't let this evening be your last. Where another might find defeat, you know only resolve. You are a member of stars, and you have a duty to perform. All clear. These cards are amazing.
Yeah, they're really good.
Loving
This
it.
flavor text is really good. Okay, I've got a tricky choice to make.
Yes, you do.
So I'll go 1 towards here.
Now, someone might be saying, why can't you come into this one? The border there is basically seen as a wall.
Yeah,
It's
unless
not the
there's
same
a
tile.
door between tiles, they are
Correct,
shut off from each other.
Mhm.
I think I will open the door for 2.
Risky.
Go this way.
I think I might see where you're going with this.
I'm going to step out for 3
Oh, maybe not.
and then move back 1 for 4.
Okay.
In the reaction phase, these 2 are moving forwards 1. This might be a risky move.
I'm just going to move this door slightly onto this tile here to
Oh,
give you a
out
bit
of
more
the way.
space. Yeah.
So they've moved towards me, nothing else moves, and I'm starting to regret my decision, which is a common feature of this game. Are the footsteps you hear at the edge of your earshot another survivor, or do they belong to something else entirely?
Is she deaf?
Regardless, one thing is clear: if you can hear them, they can hear you too.
Ooh. That's good.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay, my turn then.
What are you gonna do?
I can't really do much, unfortunately, so I'm just going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That's all I can do, because I'm all separated by walls. Soft light paints your surroundings. On any other night, in any other place, you might call the atmosphere relaxing. But not here, and not now. This is a nightmare. All clear?
Apparently. Okay then. Now, what have I got myself into?
You might become a Jill sandwich.
I think I'm gonna start. One.
Yeah.
Pick up A for 2. It's probably a bad idea. More handgun bullets.
Really?
Is this line of sight?
I think so.
It would be a straight line.
You can kind of see centre to centre. Yeah, I'd argue that's line of sight.
There's 2 zombies on the square, so they're going to be kind of like... Yeah, I'd say that is. I'd say that is, yeah.
Cool. So I'm
If
going
you were
to...
here,
that would
absolutely not.
because the corner's in the way. I'm going to use 2 handgun rounds, so I'll turn my dial down by 2. 13. It's a push, so I can push one of them back. Because I attacked other zombies in hearing range, do a move reaction, so they will go towards the sound essentially. So he moves forwards.
You know what would be madness and make this game even harder? This is in that room there and it would have heard the shot. So it would move forward towards the shot. It can't get through the door.
Yeah.
That would be madness.
And then I'll use 2 more rounds on this guy because I can no longer see this one.
Yep.
Just a push back.
That's bad luck.
And then he moves forwards, so they have not changed where they are.
Nope.
But then reaction phase, they will move forwards. But I haven't taken any damage, so I count that as a win. Hey, tension. We have heard this one very recently, so all clear.
Okay, cool.
You don't want to read the same thing over and over again, because that'll get boring.
It's a shame they didn't make every single one of them individual, but I can see that. Okay, so I'm going to move forward by 1. I'm going to open the door for number 2. And now that door's open, I have complete line of sight. So I'm going to use 2 handgun rounds, and I'm going to try and aim for the zombie to my left, this chap here, just to signal which one we're aiming for. That's a hit.
He's dead.
He's dead. Bang.
The other one will react to the...
It's going to go towards me because I'm the active character, so he's kind of turning around. Oh, what was that? Bump. And you know what? I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to use 2 rounds. And that counts as a hit.
Because there's a full one, and it's Barry.
Boom.
Thank you. You saved my life. At this point, the way to the exit, I would think, is fairly clear. There's one zombie there. So in my view, I wouldn't want to waste time trying to get to this A item.
However, for the sake of being a tutorial, what if you put yourself in danger and show how evades work on your next turn?
Okay. Let's do it!
Okay. Oh, wait.
Oh, you haven't done the thing.
Fatigue burns hard, your muscles complaining as much as your frayed nerves on this long night of sustained horror. But for a moment at least, you find respite. Pause to calm your nerves and consider your next move, which we just did.
Okay.
Or rather, Jill's next move. I'm going to turn Jill into a Jill sandwich.
Here we go. 1.
I wonder if that room is in this game.
I'll open that one. I wonder. So that's 2, 3, and I'll go. I'm just going to stand on this A item.
Cool.
And then move reaction. Reaction phase, he's going to go on my square. So we'll see how that goes. The problem is, it's fine, yeah.
You're on the little bit of card there, and the gun's pointing right at its head. I think that's hilarious.
Perfect. Okay, we'll show how the reaction phase works on someone else's turn now as well. Dust falls from above in a thin trail, accompanied by the thump of footsteps. They're on the hunt, looking for you. All clear. I promise I did shuffle ones that other than all clears in here. 100% I did.
Okay, I'm going to move forward 1, and I'm going to open this door.
He's leaving without me.
For 2. And then...
Doors!
Let me turn this door the other way. And then I'm going to use 1 bullet.
Okay, saving ammo.
To try and kill this zombie. So this is my 3rd action.
Push this back.
Might as well push him back 1. Boom. Okay, and for my 4th action, I'm going to do the same again. So I'm not going to push him, so he stays. So he's going to move forward on his reaction, because that was the end of my turn.
And this guy,
because
he is on a linked tile, is going to react. And because he's on the same square as another character, he's going to try and eat me.
He's going to do an attack, basically.
Yes.
A chomp.
So there are 2 different attacks on the zombie card. The top one's always the basic attacks. This is the one they'll do in normal situations. The first number there is the range, so it's only attacking on the same square. And the second one is the damage if he hits. This attack down here, there's an X symbol there, which means that symbol will be on some of the tension cards. If that symbol is out, I don't think so. I don't think they're on the green ones.
Okay. Yeah, it's not on that one.
If that symbol's there, then it would do this attack instead, which means it would have 1 range, and a hit, it would do 1 damage, and, bear with me while I check the thing, assault, which means after resolving the attack, place the enemy in the same square as the target, or an adjacent square if the target's square is already full.
Oof.
So it starts from further away, but like lurches in, essentially. But it's going to do a basic attack, so I need to evade. So I've got 2 is my evade number, so I get 2 blue dice. Oh, I do not evade.
Yikes.
At all.
That's rough.
So my health goes down by 1 because it does 1 damage.
Now,
Fantastic.
because obviously you've been attacked,
Yeah.
you can push it
Oh,
away.
that's true. I always forget that one.
Because you're not just going to stand there and be like, oh, it's eating me.
So I will push him back into his original square. And then it's the tension phase for you.
All appears safe, but you don't dare relax. In this haunted nightmare, the slightest lapse of concentration can lead to an untimely demise. All clear. You sure you shuffled the other ones in?
I 100% did. Okay, well, now I'm not on the same square as a zombie. I will pick up this A item. So if I was...
I wonder what it might be.
If the zombie was on my square when I tried to pick this up, I would need to do an evade roll in order to do it, because it would take the opportunity to attack. But I'm fine. So I'm gonna get a green hood.
Whee.
Yay! Look at my inventory, so full. I might as well shoot the thing.
Yep.
I'm gonna, because I got so many bullets, I'm going for the full 3, 10, 9, 8 bullets left. Rapid fire.
Good grief.
Let's do it again.
So that's 2 actions.
So this is my 3rd action. It can't possibly go wrong.
Hey!
Hit. So with that other one, because I got a push, I didn't miss, which means it didn't react.
Yes.
Second one, killed it, dead. Again. And 4th action is to move here.
Cool.
Reaction phase, we are linked, so this one moves here.
Yep.
And tension. We've had this one. It's about dust falling. All clear.
Okay. Just for the fun of it, I'm going to try stabbing this thing with a knife.
Stab it. Push
So
back.
I do a pushback, so hit it, but he pushes it back, doesn't kill it. Then I'm going to try using... Let's go 2 rounds this time. Oh, it's double dead. Yeah,
It's
this
very,
zombie is
very
dead.
dead.
The board is clear. That's my
Amazing.
2nd action. That's 3, and that's 4. Then I put a tension card. Please give me an orange. Dang it. Yeah, we've seen that one.
Okay. Might have to search for an orange to show you if we don't get one. 1, 2, 3, 4. All appears safe. All clear.
So I need to use 2 actions to get out, right?
1 to move on to it and 1 to use it.
So I'm going to move on to it and end my turn there.
Because we want to show a different card. Come on.
Oh, okay. It's red.
Oh.
Vigor Mortis. It's not going to probably do much. Your enemies lunge forward unpredictably, nails clawing through the air as their teeth snap with bestial hunger. Enemies on the same tile as the active character immediately perform a reaction. If there are no enemies on the active character's tile, draw 2 tension cards instead. And then there's the...
Okay, so on some of these cards there is going to be either a chomping mouth symbol or a skull and crossbones. That relates to, in the main game, there's a tracker.
Threat. City threat or mansion threat,
Mansion
I guess.
threat. So depending on your decisions or as you get further into campaign, you move up this track, and if you reach the area where this symbol is, you have an extra bad thing that would happen with this card.
Yeah.
So,
As such, I need to draw 2 extra cards.
yep.
Cornered, orange. Vicious snarl sends a shiver down your spine as you realize your foe has found you once more. Locate the tile closest to the active character where there are enemies but no characters. Remove the enemy on the tile with the highest threat level and place them on this character's tile on the closest biohazard symbol.
Nope.
Okay, so that's 1. You sure you
Put it
shuffle
all
these?
together. Oh.
Fevered Assault. Unnatural vigor possesses the undead as they hurl themselves towards you in a stumbling run. During the next player's turn, increase enemy movement values by 1. If there was the chompy, if we're on the city with the dimension level with the chomp, this card remains in play for 1 round.
Well, I guess I'm gonna leave. 1, 2, 3, and leave. Yay.
She's left the game, so she doesn't need to pull a tension card. Now I'm going to do the same. Boom.
We won!
We won, and these 2 should be then.
Green.
Greens.
I did shuffle
These
them.
didn't have the X's on it either, so
No.
that must be in the main scenario.
I suppose they wouldn't do
Whoops.
that in the tutorial because it might be mean. You don't want to have the risk of actually dying in the tutorial scenario.
We didn't get to use the umbrella dice Or obviously the red ones either.
No. So, when we play the actual campaign, we might not do the explaining every little detailed bit. We'll try and remember if we're doing something for the first time just to go through it. But I hope this has been helpful to any of you who are new to the Resident Evil board games. Do let us know if you've got any questions or if you'd like to get an explanation of something in more detail. Obviously, we're not like affiliated with the game, we're just learning it as players as well.
Bunch of Steam Forged one, huh?
Imagine! Oh! So we'll do our best based on the information we've got. But yeah, I mean, I hope you've found this helpful and enjoyed watching. Do you have anything further to say?
Just sponsor us, Steam Forged.
Sponsor us, Steam Forged. Hashtag sponsor us, Steam Forged.
Take us home, Leanne.
Please like this video if you found it helpful or if you enjoyed watching it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos. Let us know in the comments, like I said, if you've got any questions. Or if you do notice if we missed anything, let us know, because like we said, we're still learning stuff too, and there's a lot of rules in these games, so this stuff gets
It's easy to miss stuff.
Yeah. Follow us on our socials. Our link tree's in the description below. It'll take you to our Facebook, Instagram, and X, where we put weekly update images that'll tell you what's coming up soon, as well as little clips and stuff, little fun things that happen when stuff goes up. Cool. All good.
Yep.
Well, I guess until next time, we'll see you in the mansion.